3 more lottery picks left. Up next is the Charlotte Hornets, and the 12th pick in the NBA draft. The Charlotte Hornets they are going with P.J. Washington out of Kentucky. We saw him a lot last season, Matt. You saw him up close and personal. P.J. Washington to the Charlotte Hornets.
You give some love to my buddy here because he has been very high. GP Gary Parrish, very high on P.J. Washington. Credit to him. He
only took till 8:52 to get some love from that.
I'm going to be giving you love all night. Don't worry, my man. So,
whoa! Wow, I don't know if I go that far.
So, P.J. Washington, how about this? The first time since John Calipari became coach of the Kentucky Wildcats that he has not had a top 10 NBA draft pick. Obviously, that's relatively surprising. P.J. Washington does so much, improves so much, and does so much at an NBA level already. Can shoot well, rebounds well, good athlete, got stronger, good ball distributor, works well in the post. When you tell me Cam Johnson gets drafted before P.J. Washington, I can't believe it, but we just saw it happen with our own very eyes. Good pick for the Hornets here. I like it a lot, and I think that he will succeed, and this will prove to be a nice pick.
I like the pick. I'll give it a grade of a B. This is a young man who probably could have entered the 2018 NBA draft and been a borderline first-round pick, but he decided to come back to school and, yes, help Kentucky compete for a national championship, but also, what does every player say, improve their stock. Most don't do it. P.J. Washington did. He went from somebody who shot the three-point ball at about a 26% rate to shooting above 40% as a sophomore. What does that tell NBA people? That he can be a space-creating forward in the modern NBA. That's what they're looking for. It's not enough to just be 6'8", 6'9", skilled anymore. Can you be 6'8", 6'9", sit in the corner and make a shot? He can, and that's why he's a lottery pick.
I give you a grade A pick because your prop hit. You had P.J. Washington as the first Kentucky player being drafted. So there you go, GP.
Thank you.
Good stuff. So if you watched this earlier on Sportsline, your ticket cash. That's what we do here for you. Help you win some money. We put that knowledge in your mind and money in your pocket. Let's go back out to Evan Daniels. You follow Kentucky exclusively. P.J. Washington led the Wildcats in scoring and rebounding. Do you like this pick here at 12th overall for the Charlotte Hornets?
Well, I actually had him a little lower on my big board. I had him more in the 20s. But I do think that he's a talented kid, and I thought Gary made a good point. This is a kid that has really progressed over the last year. He really used that second season at Kentucky to get better. He's a tad undersized at the power forward spot at 6'7", but he's very long, has a 7'2" wingspan. You like his motor, you like his energy, you like that he goes to the glass and really rebounds, but the jump shot improving was the most notable thing from his sophomore season. He turned into a real threat to not only make jump shots from mid-range, but to the three-point line at the collegiate level. So when you factor that in with his motor and his rebounding, I get it. He's got good hands. He's got good touch around the basket. Potentially the size for position is a little bit of a concern. The length helps with that a little. But I do think that he brings some value in terms of rebounding. That's one of the things that I think translates at every level, and he's a very good rebounder and a guy that I think with the addition of the jump shot is a solid basketball player.
Avery, when you take a look at a guy like P.J. Washington, who does he remind you of, perhaps past or present, that played in the league?
Well, I think he's a poor man, Pascal Siakam. I've been watching this kid for 6 years. He went to high school and played for his dad in Las Vegas. He played AAU for Penny Hardaway's team, and I watched him for 2 years and competed against him when he played for Kentucky. And I actually was one of the ones that voted for him to leave after his freshman year and not return to Kentucky for his second season. This kid is tough. He's a coach's dream. He's very coachable. He really loves to impact the game with his rebounding, both his offensive and defensive rebounding. But here's a kid that came back for his sophomore season, and he improved his game. He moved his range back from the long two range to behind the three-point line, made a lot of big threes this year for Kentucky. He can play. He is an NBA 4. You can slide him over maybe a little bit with low minutes to the 3 position. But again, just versatility, toughness. He always believes he's the best player on the floor. And it also speaks to player development and understanding when is the right time to declare and stay in the draft, and when is the right time to go back to college and try to improve. And he's a picture perfect example for player development and going back to college for your sophomore season and giving yourself a better chance to get drafted higher than the 20s.
Matt, now you've got a little Kentucky love here with the Charlotte Hornets. Malik Monk, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and now P.J. Washington, Wildcat Central there in Charlotte.
Yeah, no Carolina Blue, big Blue Nation for Michael Jordan and the Hornets there. Listen, P.J. Washington, I think, can step in and he can be a serviceable, really good pro. Where Charlotte was here with the team need, I'm a big fan of it. P.J. Washington, John Morant were the two players who most benefited by coming back. John Morant, would he have been drafted a year ago? Probably not. Maybe a late second rounder. P.J. Washington would have been drafted. He opted to come back and did what so few former five-star prospects do in a second year, get noticeably better, undeniably improve the draft stock. Again, shouts to GP. He had this. Love P.J. Washington this high, and it comes to fruition.
P.J. Washington headed to the Charlotte Hornets.